Succession. Succession has made a huge splash. I was reading The Economist, and I think there were at least two articles with references to succession, to the patriarch now gone, and his description of life, business as a fight for the knife in the mud, something like that. So his tempestuous take on corporate American corporate world. So. And then I know another article indeed in which it was they were looking at this and some other films and series from the cultural point of view. Indeed, I think the latter article was in the culture section. And looking at the fact that they bumped off Logan Roy, main character, leading man, and that's a risk what you do. And then they were also mentioning the author of the article was mentioning I think Scream, where you have Drew Barrymore in the cast, and what do you say to the people who came to see her when she's only 5 minutes into the film? She's whacked off. She's gone. So, paid money to see her. What is she? She's gone. So there's this risk. But then it's also creative, innovative. Arguing about this. I was thinking of another aspect of credibility. Very often you watch a film, but now when you have groups like Trump, and not just in America, you have Bolsonaro in Brazil, and you have Lula, who is embracing Putin. He said a few times that, well, Zelensky is just as much to blame. And then South Africa is selling arms to the Russians, to the Xi, the world is. In fact, again, The Economist had a calculation that what was it? The majority of the world is covered for Russia in some ways. Well, it's true. You have China, you have India, who is playing with Putin, and then already you have how many? 17 billion. I'm just silly. I think almost 3 billion. So there you go. Anyway, let me mention for the 1000th time Adventures in the Screenplay by William Gold, who says so much about making movies, about actors, about what anything and everything connected to the industry. Very unusual. And the question of veridicity, of disbelief for the audience. He mentions two incidents. One, he's suggesting, think of this plot, this scenario, script, wherein you have this fellow who wants to get into this very well-defended castle, fortress-like. You have this key character woman who is well protected. She's paramount importance. So he's going through one door, then finds a corridor, and not knowing very well his way, he passes various points, and somehow he just happens to come into her bedroom and find himself face to face with her, just like that. I mean, if I give you this scenario and you watch the movie in the cinema theater, you just the audience, not just you, is rising to go. Only this thing happened. It's in fact in the Queen, the series, Netflix series, The Queen, previous Elizabeth II did have a stranger coming to her, but he just one guard was not there, another one was, I don't know, taking the dogs out. It happened. And then the second, let's try and make it quicker. It's the Second World War. The Allies had to cross the river, maybe it was the Rhine, and they have a massive Nazi German force across, and they were counting on something like maybe the fog, and the fog is lifting, so they're just sitting ducks, and the Germans just use the machine guns and whatever can, and they just massacre the incoming regiment, whatever it was, platoon. But there's another wave to come. They have to follow, and they just saw this, and they saw, and they have to go ahead, and it's not. It's also using it. You put it. It is in fact referring to a bridge too far, where he had such. He mentions another thing, such events that did happen, but they're not. When you put something, and I'm coming to the conclusion that also with Succession, that's the benefit here. You see those Murdoch and Trump and those monstrous figures on display and doing incredibly bad things, and you say, oh well, okay, Logan and the machinations and the ambassadorship for the silly son who doesn't want to go to Mogadishu, doesn't want Slovenia and Slovakia, he wants something big, and then to pull out from the race and give his 2 percentage points or whatever he has to the candidate favored by Waystar, by the family, if you, the organization. So we see those kind of things on the news, alas.